everybody, this is Angela Savage, the daughter of IndyCar driver Swede Savage. It's time to watch stories from motorsports. My buddy, Doug Kenny, loves to share the journey of people in racing, and he is an amazing dude. Drivers, owners, fans, and team members, watch the SFM podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me to create this platform. I'd like to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for convincing me to get back into it after my hiatus from 2017 to 2019. I have a very special treat for you all today with an amazing journey from an amazing racing figure. Drivers, start your engines. Yeah, and then you drove for Bird, I believe.
Tried to run the Speedway that next year. So, yeah, I didn't have anything after I got hurt in Texas at the end of Pelfrey's year. Getting healed kind of cost me not having anything to drive for the next season for the start. So that the Reynard, right?
Mm-hmm.
That car, no, it wasn't the Reynard, the one that the Riley Scott. So they were trying to run the Riley Scott. Bird did it, and at the end of the day, I went out and tried to do that. Didn't make the show, so we ran a couple races after trying to develop. I got brought in on the Riley Scott side. Bird was the team, and Jeff Brown was the engineer. They were good guys. It just the things we figured out on the car that needed to get fixed couldn't get fixed till the next year or car build because of the rules, and so it wasn't worth it.
So that's how your IndyCar career pretty much ended?
Yeah, pretty much. That was kind of the end of it.
So what'd you do afterwards then?
God, a lot of different things. I still do some development driving for stuff, some teaching, some driving school stuff. Right now I'm into the sim stuff, teaching on that a bit, as much as I can. It's fun. A few other just normal jobs, I guess. Some stuff trying to get going. Yeah. Kind of what do you do after you don't race a while? Go coach, go to different races. You still go hang out in racing, it seems like you're just not running Indy cars. Indy cars are tough gig to be in, to do, and to stay in. I think the cars now are a bit easier to drive. Again, there was a few nights that my IRL career, we spent like a pretty crowded night in the ER with several drivers. They were going through learning a lot about safety there. So we had some guys really get hurt. Hamilton got hurt bad. Brett got hurt bad. Sam, Sam got hurt real bad. So there was a lot of really hard injuries through that little stint I had in. I got hurt real bad. I collapsed both lungs, broke all my ribs, and it really, I could still walk. It wasn't, like put you in a wheelchair kind of hurt, but they weren't injuries that were like 2 weeks and you're up walking around running.
It was lengthy injury recovery, right?
Yeah. Tough stuff, a lot of internal stuff and whatnot. So that's just the way it is,
Yeah, for sure. How have you been holding up lately with, the recent tragedies like the loss of Bobby Sr., Jr., and Al Sr.? How have you been doing with that?
Well, it's been an interesting trip. I'm fine with, a little bit sad. I can't say that our family's better for it. Unfortunately, Dad and Uncle Al left everything to two women that aren't really our family members. So Al Jr. and I are kind of left a little bit on the outside looking in on some things. Al's in a little better position than I am on that. So in a lot of ways, dude, I've had to wipe my hands from it and say, you know what? It's done. It's over. Goodbye. And that's not really the best thing, but that's the only way they're going to do it. So that's the way it is. Sadly, they wanted to liquidate everything out. So
yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that, but it's just tragedies like that, are really unfortunate, especially when they're big names and when they're family. It's all the estates.
They got to go. Dad and Uncle Al, they're an interesting story, dude. They really spent their whole career fighting, okay, but in a healthy way. So my dad's the first one to want to beat Uncle Al, but if Uncle Al didn't have a ride, he'd try hard to get him a ride. It was the weirdest thing. I mean, they went at each other like you cannot believe. And stories I gotta wait and just write in the book. But they were the most competitive with each other. I mean, more competitive with each other than they were anyone else. I'll just put it that way. But again, had to be competing with each other. Didn't want to be alone. Where Al Jr. was perfectly happy being the only answer on the track. Dad and Uncle Al were not that way. They wanted to race with each other. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
they had that, but they were super competitive, dude. Mental. And everything. Snowmobile, dirt bike, driving across town, going to get coffee. Oh my God, if those two guys pulled out of their driveway at the same time, it was a race. If they were going the same direction. Seriously, in anything they did. So, unfortunately, when they got older, and, they hit a few walls, just going to say, they still ended up fighting, and it ended up fighting about museums and competing about that, and ended up splitting everything up and leaving it to these two women that, in my opinion, have ruined it. So, yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear all that, but yeah, so what do you plan to do in the future now that all that's sort of taken over?
Yeah, well, one day at a time. I just I enjoy my life. I've got a good family myself. I love my wife, and still live in Albuquerque. I'm pretty much the last one here other than our next generation. Some Al's kids are here and stuff. So do different things. I still do some driving for Speedway. I still do some running around for some different people. I work with Sam Schmidt every now and then. Again, teach some kids online. I do like doing that, coaching with the sim stuff. Some driving schools here in Albuquerque. So yeah, mostly just that kind of thing. Still like teaching racing. I mean, at the end of the day, I've done this my whole life. I do like teaching the sport. I love the sport. It's a great sport. It's, like I said, I'm a big old fan, just like you. I love the history of it. I love everything about it. I like the fact that kids that get into it are, it's a bit cleaner. You have to have your wits about you to do it. Still got to get outside and do it, So, yeah, anytime I can have something to do with working with a kid, coaching somebody, teaching somebody, and that's even, a doctor out at the racetrack or whatever. Anyone who wants to go faster and enjoys this art form, and I like to help them. So as long as I can figure out how to get paid doing that, I keep doing it.
Yeah, that's really cool of you, man. Just mentoring and teaching others,
Yeah.
You never know who you could impact out of it, You never know, because coaches have impacted a lot of great people, not just in racing coaching, but acting coaching and even life coaching, like someone I know from Australia.
Yeah. No, it's funny that I was very competitive too. We all were when we raced. But now I can sit down with Pappas and some of my guys I used to race with where I would never divulge anything that was what I would call, my secrets or how I did what I did or blah, blah, blah. Now we all openly talk about it, and I think feel a responsibility to pass that on. It's not, our careers are done. It's over. It's, if we have an opportunity and a chance to teach what we've been lucky enough and God's been gracious enough to allow us to learn, then it's important, I think, that we can, to share that. And so you do get to a point, or at least I found it, get to a point where, you don't worry about yourself keeping the secret. You know what I'm saying? That competitiveness. It's more of passing it on, knowing that if you can share what you had, and we all, no matter what level of driver you are that has done this, we all have something we're really good at. And if you can share that and how you got through that, how you learned that, whatever, with another driver, then I think that kind of makes it worth what you did. You live on through that. You help that. And that's the way it is. I mean, we laugh and everybody jokes. I'm sure you've heard it, that motorsports is just really one big family. I think in a lot of ways that it is true. And I look around at the world today, and I'm more worried about our sport just from the fact of where everybody's thinking. I mean, they don't like us burning fuel anymore. They don't want us to pave up racetracks, and I'm worried about that. I'm worried about our future that way. I'm worried about kids not wanting to drive cars anymore. I'm worried about them wanting to just look at their phone. I'm worried, why everybody's so anxious for self-driving cars to come out. That's, to me, not good. So.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe if you did so, and please continue supporting our amazing guest. And everybody, we'll see you next time on SFM.
Hi, this is Ted Warner speaking. While the checkered flag has waved for this program, stay tuned for next week for the next episode of SFM. Thanks to Doug Kenny for what he does for motorsports.